to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. La, la, la. So in the last part of the tutorial, I introduced you to basic shaping and the object mode. We scale objects in basic forms and we just lay them out in the ways that we want to be. I introduced you to Shift D, which is duplicates to scale things, which with S, G to grab, and changing the position of it with the axis. In this episode, we're going to introduce you to the edit tools, how you can modify shapes, and adding detail to the things that we have already constructed. So this is where we left off from the last tutorial. So Alt H to unhide everything. So this is these are all the objects that we have ready. So everything that we want to find will be up here. So all the objects that we do. So if you ever lost or something, want to find some object, just click here and that will bring you to all the things. Remember, it's F2, F2, F2 to rename. So or to give it a name. So that's pretty handy if you want to find things. So let's hit H and H on the walls and roof to hide the things that we don't want to see right now. Anyways, you might be wondering, there is no piss area to say the best I can. So we actually want to add that one in right now. So this one here, this object right over here can be a good one to be placed over there. So let's just duplicate this with Shift D, move along the Y axis, hit Y, then move along that Y axis, drop over here with left click, and this G to grab alongside the X axis over here, scale it in on the Y axis, just the Y. Okay, G, Y, and there we go. Here's the background that we have for it. It might be a bit short though, so let's just hit S and then along the Z axis, which is up and down. G and Z again to move it upwards. That should do for now as a generalization. So let's work on the toilets. So modeling each of one of these by hand would be a freaking pain, to say at least. But we can luckily make all of these share the same material data or object data. So when you change one of these, the others will change alongside of it. So let's hit Shift and left click all of these boxes. And then you want to make sure the last selection is the same as the one that you want to edit. In my case, I want to edit this one. So let's hit Shift again and then left click on this to change it into a different color. You realize the active objects, which is the last object that you select, will have a different tints of orange compared to this one. That means this is the active objects and everything else will be based off this one. So let's hit Control L to control link and then object data. Hit tab into object mode, just hit tab under object mode, select the face of this and move it down. So in this case, you notice all these will move at the same time. So hit G, boom, 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 and they all move at the same time. So, but however, if it exit the object mode and just try to scale it in and stuff like that, it won't change anything. That means you can still have different scales for the same thing. So let's scale this one down in object mode, into object mode with tab, and let's want to scale this one up so we can change the shape of the object while changing the size of it. So that's pretty nice. Let's change it back with Control Z 3 times, and depending how many times you want, it doesn't matter. So we just want to change the shape of it to make it look like an actual toilet. So what I want to do is to hit grab, hit Z, and want to make this as the base, because changing everything from top down is actually quite damn difficult. So this is the base of where the toilet is going to be. And what I want to do is hit I to invert from the basic shape. The base shape. And now we have this nice outline. So with face select mode on, Alt for ring selection, I just want to bring this one up. But one issue, but one small problem. I don't want this one here because this is gonna be the door, and I want to model the door a bit differently. So, like any same person, just hit Shift again, Shift click, and that'll disable the one here. And now I'm gonna introduce something called extrude mode. Extrude is basically creating another line here, another line and going upwards. The best way to explain this, I will jump onto my other file, which I've been using for testing. So right here I have a pretty interesting shape. So you can see the faces have different orientations and stuff like that. And I want to select this face, and I want to hit E to extrude it. And the one thing to know about extrusion is that it goes by the direction of which your face is facing. So if your face is pointing towards this way, it will go a straight line of this way. If your face rotated to this way, it will just come out straight to this way. So no matter which face which side of the extrusion is facing, to screw out from the face, yeah, it will always go in the direction of the face. So that's one thing you know about extrusion. But if you extrude it again, you will notice this line over here. That means it actually doesn't destroy the previous version of it. That means the previous version line isn't moving. So this is what we call a loop cut, basically a loop. So this here determines a single face, and it maintains the original shape and adding a new one over here. So extruding one basically doesn't modify the original one, just add another version of it, or just pulling out another version of it. In this case, it's really nice because I want to keep the original a line at the base right over here. I want to do something with it. So let's into object edit mode again. Hit I. There we go. Select the outside version of it. Hit Shift, left click to disable that one. Shortcuts off. Hit E to extrude it upwards. So now we want to work on the door. So what we can do right now is just hit extrude with this part selected, hit extrude up to about here. I want to add a bridge over here later. We always change the size of it by clicking G and then Z. We can always change it up and down, so that doesn't really matter for now. So now I want to drag the bottom of this door upwards a bit to add some gapping space, because that's pretty normal in bathroom designs nowadays. They usually are opening down here, so that's what I want to do. So if you go to X-ray mode, by the way, this is X-ray mode, so it allows you to see through objects. That's pretty neat. And let's turn on Y mode, and we can see right now all the things that we can select. This, let's go to faces, and every single one of these dots are things that we can select. Okay, but for some reason, the area of the door doesn't have a place that we can select. It's weird. I won't lie, it's a bit weird. So, in the case where we cannot select the faces of a thing to grab out upwards, we had to cut from the sides. So, let's use Control R. Simple introduction to Control R, which is loop cuts. Not you. So Control R, that'll make a loop cut. And it works functionally. There we go. It basically does is separates the shape in the way that you want to manipulate. So it divides a single shape or a single face into different parts, and you can change those individually to your own liking. In my case, I want to put my loop cut right over here. Boom. So the first click is to determine the area, the face that you want to drag the loop cut on, and the second one is determine the location. So you can see over here we got one on this side and one on this side. So let's go into face mode, face select mode at the top here, select this shape, hit del or X, and we want to dissolve faces, right? Dissolve faces. Oh, the face will do as well. That is more of a rough way to do it. So end faces, and that kills it. Now we can see right through it. Now there's a bit of issue. There's a hole right here. So to fill this hole, we want to choose the edge mode. Let's do that. So select this edge with the left click, shift click alongside edge, left click, shift left click, and hit F to fill in the face. F is face. So just fill it in, but nah, there's also a missing face right down here as well, but no one's ever gonna notice it, so let's leave it be. So right now, there we go. Very cool. So now we have this part all completely cut out. And what we want to do right now is I just want to add a simple top over here, a simple bridge over here to make it add some bit more detail. Actually, no, take it back. I want this face. This face is nice. I like this face. So let's select all the points over here with shift left click and hit F to fill it in with to fill in the face. To fill in the face, 4 corners are usually best selected. So now we have control over this now. Drag it down a bit. Nice. And this is a bit too high. Let's select the face select mode. Select over here GZ over here. And now we just want to add a simple bridge. To do that, let's go shift right click to move our 3D cursor right over here. This is a 3D cursor. Shift A. So whatever we spawn is to be right over here. Way too big. So let's S. And scale it down. G, move it upwards. G and Z to move it upwards. Scale it in. Scale against the x-axis. Scale it in more. Scale it in on the y-axis to make it more skinny. Scale it in on the y-axis to make it really skinny, and manipulate the exact shape and ratio that we want. G. Let's hit Z, G and Z to move around the G-axis. S and scale it against the Z-axis to fill it in. So now we have this simple bridge over here. It's missing a bit, so G and then Y. G and move against the Y-axis, and there we have the simple shape. A simple bridge on the top here. I think it's a bit too high actually, so let's hit G again and hit Z again. And I think it's too thick, so let's hit S and scale it in again. So this works fine. So this works a bit of fine. So I think it's a bit too low. Let's hit G and Z, and that looks okay. So now we want to add a bit of the top over here because it doesn't really feel safe. If the roof is on top of here and we don't have an actual roof over here, it doesn't feel really safe. So I want to add a small confinement over here, but still good for airflow. So let's keep it on the face select mode. Select this face. Hit shift to select multiple things and let's hit this one right here. Nice. And what I want to do right now is just hit I believe, to hit it inwards. No, that doesn't work. That's a stupid idea. So let's hit E to extrude it. So what we did right now is to make an extra copy of it on top of it. So now if we just hit S and just scale it in a bit, that'll work. Nice and simple. Let's get in a bit more. There we go. So now we have a small confinement area right here. So if you're sitting over here and looking upwards, you're going to see the blank sky and have a bit of shielding, I guess. It feels safe with still the natural light coming in from the top of the sky right down here. So that's pretty damn cool. So this actually has a bit more detail now and actually looks a bit more organic. And what I actually want to do is to actually add a bit more detail on this side. So one of the most important things to remember while going to edit mode is when you're on object mode with tab. You can change from edit to object mode with tab. It's the one where you select all the objects to change. So if you ever just select one object and hit tab, it's like this is the only object you can ever change. You can't change any other objects. These objects change. The only reason these objects are changing is because these objects are linked to this one. If they weren't, they won't be changing. So if you ever want to select anything from these objects, even though there's some object blocking it, you need to select it right over here, and it will act like this one doesn't exist. So yeah. So think edit mode as isolating an object and changing it to the way that you want to. If once you enter edit mode with the object that you selected, you can't change any other objects, unless of course you exit edit mode and select another object. In 2.8, there's a new update which allows you to select 2 objects and bring both of them into edit mode. So those 2 objects will be the only one you can be able to change. Of course, you can bring more than 2 objects, but 2 is just here for examples. Let's select this face over here by selecting this one, because if this object wasn't here, we will be selecting this one right over here directly. Let's hit I to insect. Hit S along the Y-axis over here. and I just want to hit I again, invert, because I want this part to stick up. So over here, let's see if we can select all the faces. There we go. All the faces selected with Alt. And then just let's screw this a little bit. So now exit when we exit the mode, exit the edit mode, we're into object mode. You can see a bit of detail over here, which looks okay, pretty okay. Opinion based. It's all opinion based though. So I think I think it looks ugly, but your opinion might vary. I just want to add that in there to show the possibilities of inverts and reselecting the faces. So to end the tutorial off, I just want to do something, just add a bit more something. So I can see right now I'm in edit mode with face select mode. And you see right now this is two-dimensional. The top right here is two-dimensional, and I just want to add a bit definite. So let's just select right here, boom, boom. Let's select the three faces with shift left click and hit E to extrude it a bit more. That would do it. So now I just add a bit more height to it, which is nice. Exit edit mode to object mode with tab, and there we have it. And I think this part is a bit too low, so let's enter edit mode again. So everything you do in edit mode of this object counts as this object. So when you go to object mode and we'll select this one, just this bit, you can't do that. So everything's inside of this one object right now. So let's click here, hit L, and that basically disconnects. So everything that's linked to this surface I just selected. So everything linked to this surface will be selected when you hit L. Of course, this only works for things that you just add in, extra objects that you just shift A add in. For things that we extrude right here, if we hit L, that will join the entire thing, because everything in this object, in this place right here, it was made with extrusions, which counts as a single shape. So this one was shift A added in, so this one counts as its own shape. So let's just grab this up a bit, and let's S, then move, then it's go against the Z axis, move a bit down here, and I think that looks okay. So yeah, I think that would do it for this tutorial. This part tutorial, so we've modeled the basic outline of the toilet. So next tutorial we're gonna do a quick modeling of the toilet, of the piss area, and also maybe the hand area, and also the hand washer as well. I'm gonna introduce you to point manipulation, line manipulation. So changing lines over here, such as, let me just show you quickly right now. So, oh, I'm in edit mode. That's perfect. Lines out a bit, so you can do this. You can do this stuff to change the shape of it. So you can change a bunch of stuff like that. You can create bins with this, wall bins with this. So in the next episode, we're just gonna flash out the edit mode a bit more. Basically, just flashing out the edit mode to understand a bit more the basics of editing. And yeah, the tutorial is long as it is right now. So I think it's 18 minutes or something like that. So I hope this helped. So we turn the basic shape of a single rectangle to a more complex shape like the outline of this toilet. So have a good day, everybody, and take care. And that's to me as well. I need some serious sleep. I should not be recording at 3 AM right now. I didn't edit this as well. Someone help. Someone please send help.